Good morning, students. Today we'll going to discuss about identification of animal tissues in our biological practical class. Today's experiment number is 2B and this is our last demonstration we're going to encounter today. The aim of today's experiments is to identify stripped muscles, fibers and nerve cells in animals from prepared mounted slides and to draw their level diagrams. Along with stripped or striated muscles, we'll also study the characteristics of non-striated and cardiac muscles. For this experiment, we'll need materials of striated muscles, non-striated muscles, cardiac muscles, as well as nerve cells. So the major material we'll require are the permanently mounted slides of all these samples, along with a compound student's microscope. The theory in brief is a tissue is a group of cells that are similar in structure, origin and function. We all know about it. And animal tissues can be divided into four major parts: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue as well as nervous tissue. And of some of these tissues we are going to study the characteristics under the microscope. Procedure is, first we have to clean the microscope and adjust the light in the microscope along with the focus, and then we have to place the prepared mounted slide of tissue on the stage of the microscope and focus first at low power and then at high power or resolution. And we'll observe the structure of tissues and draw the diagram of tissues as seen under the microscope, and we'll have to draw this labeled diagram on the blank page of our lab manual, whereas the writing portions we'll do in the ruled pages. So the first observation is for the striated or skeletal muscles. The characteristics are: striated muscle cells are cylindrical, elongated and enclosed in a membrane called sarcolemma. And striated muscle cells are multinucleated, means one cell can have multiple nucleuses. Striated muscles show presence of light and dark bands which gives it stripped appearance, and that's why it's called stripped or striated muscles. And these muscles are present attached to the skeleton of the body. They are voluntary muscles, so you can move the striated or skeletal muscles with your willpower via the activity of your brain, so it's called the voluntary muscles. So these muscles work according to our will. And this picture shows how striated muscle fibers look like under the microscope. These are the various characteristics of striated muscles. They are light and dark bands which gives the striated look-like appearance of this kind of muscles, and this thing is called the nucleus, and one muscle cell can have multiple nucleuses. That's why they are multinucleated. Then we come to the non-striated muscle fibers. On the right hand of this slide you can see that this boat-shaped single nucleated muscle fibers, which are smooth muscle fibers, and they are spindle shaped or boat shaped, which is clearly shown here. Nucleus is centrally located, so for each muscle cell the nucleus is centrally located, and these muscles do not show striations, so there is no appearance of dark and light bands under the microscope. And non-striated muscles are involuntary in nature, so you cannot move the smooth muscles, which is basically the major muscle fibers of our internal organs, with your willpower, although they work under your brain activity, but they are not obedient to your will. So that's why they are involuntary in nature, and they are commonly found in alimentary canals and blood vessels and many more organs, internal organs within our body. Then we come to the cardiac muscles, and the characteristics are that cardiac muscle cells are long, branched and uninucleate. These show the presence of intercalated disc. They show alternate light and dark bands like the skeletal muscles, but they are involuntary muscles like smooth muscles, and they are responsible for rhythmic contraction and relaxations of the cardiac wall. Cardiac muscles are present only in wall muscles of the heart, and they are responsible for the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of our heart. So this is the appearance of cardiac muscles, where intercalated discs are present, which are shown here, and this oblique bridge connects the subsequent cardiac muscles with one another for vigorous activity, and their presence of nucleus is shown here in the cardiac muscles in this figure. Now we come to the nerve cell. So nerve cell comprises of a cell body like this, and which is called cyton, with a single nucleus in the central position along with the cytoplasm. Many small cytoplasmic projections arise from cyton, which are called dendrons. So these cytoplasmic projections are called dendrons. The dendrons divide further to form dendrites. So these dendrons, you can see that these dendrons are also divided into further elongations like web of spiders, and these finer elongations are called dendrites. A long cytoplasmic projection arising from the cell body is called axon. This is this long cytoplasmic projection arising from the cell body, and this long cytoplasmic projection is called axon. A myelin seed is present over the axon in some nerve fibers. So this is called, this covering along with this axon is called myelin seed, which are mainly composed with lipid. They are called myelinated nerve fibers, and when myelin seed is absent, they are called non-myelinated nerve fibers. Myelin seed is not continuous. They are broken in certain spaces, and there are gaps along the entire length. Each gap is called the nodes of Ranvier. So this myelin seed is not continuous, as you can see. They are broken in certain spaces, and these nodes, which are developed by the broken myelin seeds, this node is called the node of Ranvier. Nerve cells help in conduction of nerve impulse. As we all remember that all the physiological and anatomical activities in organisms or in developed animals, including humans, are under control of our brain activity. So brain helps to control our body activity through nerve fibers via nerve impulses, and these nerve cells help in conduction of nerve impulse. That's why they can have a control over our whole body along with the internal organs as well as other activities done by any organisms in a sequential manner. So nerve cells have these characteristics, and if you see these characteristics under a microscope for a certain cell, you can infer that this cell could be a nerve cell. So this is our last practical demonstration what we have done today. This is experiment number 2B, the characteristics of animal tissues of certain categories. And thank you. You have to write it down in your lab manual what we have discussed in earlier. You have to write in the ruled pages, and you have to draw these labeled diagrams with HB pencil on the blank pages with properly labeling. Thank you. Study well.